Family Guy is still one of the greatest animated television series with more than 20 seasons and 431 episodes still running. It was created by Seth MacFarlane and premiered in 1991 as a sitcom show. It centers around a family known as the Griffins and is basically a reminder of the day-to-day activities of normal families in the United States. It also has an R-rated level of humor and out-of-pocket jokes that make the show even much funnier and better. And today we are going to look at the most iconic characters that have been with us for the last 26 years, and some who have appeared non-consecutively throughout the show, the supporting characters, the antagonists, and even celebrities who appeared once or twice in the series. Later we shall look at the mighty voices of the people who took part behind the scenes, who they are, what they've become, and how old they've gotten while still voicing the same characters in 2025. Let us start with the mother figure known as Lois Griffin, who was the wife of a man called Peter Griffin. She also had 3 children who we shall look at later, and was a lady who was brought up in an extremely wealthy background. She was the glue that held the family together, and was the only responsible member of the Griffin family. Throughout the series, she always said that she was a Protestant, but was actually from a Jewish household, and her mother was actually a Holocaust survivor. She is also a black belt in taijutsu, and can also wield a number of karate weapons when given the chance. She was also the voice of reason to her foolish husband and her dumb kids, and it was the beautiful Alex Borstein who voiced her. She is an American actress and comedian who won a Primetime Emmy Award for her role as Lois in this particular show. Chris, on the other hand, was the middle child of the Griffin family, and was 13 years old when the show began in 1999. He was a large kid with a small brain, and was not able to make decisions for himself. The only thing he was good at was discussions pertaining movies like Star Wars and other geeky topics. Also, through the first few seasons, Chris has been shown to be very self-conscious about his weight, especially when someone is making fun of his appearance. He was not good in school and was also very poor in socializing, mostly with the females. But generally this kid was a good lad, and was actually friendly to everyone he met. Voiced by Seth Green, who is an American actor and a voice actor that started his career in the early 80s, and is now married to Claire Grant since 2010. Cleveland was the black guy in the neighborhood, and was a good friend to Peter Griffin. He was once married to a woman known as Loretta Brown, but they separated after she cheated on him with a man named Quagmire, who we shall discuss in a few. Back in the days, Cleveland was an accomplished minor league baseball player, and would move to Quahog after his career to raise a family. He was a straight-to-the-point kind of fella, and was among the 4 best friends alongside Peter, Quagmire, and Joe. He was voiced by Mike Henry, who is also an American actor and comedian, and is actually the same actor who voiced Consuela and Herbert in this same show. And now to Meg Griffin, who was the oldest child of Lois and Peter Griffin. She was 15 years old in the first season, and was the most despised character in the show. She was always a sweet teenage daughter who always took the blame for the terrible things done by the other Griffin members, and was also the joke both in her family and at school. Peter was mostly the one making all the cruel jokes to her, but the others were a little softer towards her. She was also seen to be good at bowling in certain episodes, and also Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons gave her a saxophone, which she played quite well in a crossover between the 2 shows. A good and misunderstood girl voiced by the famous Milena Markovna Kunis, popularly known as Mila Kunis, who is an American actress that was born in Ukraine and raised in Los Angeles. She started her career in that 70s show when she was just 15 years old, and she grew up to be a well-loved actress, and is now married to Ashton Kutcher. Tomic appeared with another guy called Bellegarde, and were both foreign guys who lived in the United States longer than they were permitted. Tomic and his friend enjoyed drinking a lot, and Joe was seen complaining of how loud they were talking at an adjoining booth. This guy was voiced by John Viner, who is an American actor, and we also discussed him in Phineas and Ferb, where he voiced Norm the robot. Joe Swanson was the main Quahog's police officer, and was known to suffer from anger issues. He was married to Bonnie Swanson, and fathered 2 children with her. As I said before, Joe had severe anger issues which often manifested in explosive and violent outbursts at random times throughout the show. He was also the best hand-to-hand fighter, and was shown to tackle and fight even the biggest and the fastest people in the show. He was also a serious person most of the time, and was not known to show expressions when happy or sad. Voiced by the great Patrick Warburton, who we've discussed quite a number of times. Example like in Emperor's New Groove. Stewie had a beautiful teacher known as Miss Tammy. She was always seen being so supportive of Stewie and his classmates, and she always spoke in a soft and quiet voice. We also saw her when Stewie developed scoliosis, and she uncomfortably tried to make her feel special in class. She stopped appearing in the later seasons, and was voiced by Rachel MacFarlane, who is Seth MacFarlane's younger sister. She is also the one who voiced Haley Smith in American Dad. There was this evil monkey which lived in Chris's bedroom closet, and was known to regularly torment Chris every time he tried getting in his room. It was only Chris who saw the monkey, and the other family members always laughed because they thought that he was going nuts. And after a few 2 or 3 seasons, they both developed a close friendship, and the monkey decided that it was time he moved on. We saw that they both parted ways, and the monkey went to stay in a boy called Jake Tucker's closet. This monkey was voiced by Danny Smith, who is an American writer and a voice actor, and is also a producer and animator for this show. Jesus of Nazareth is the central figure of us Christians, and is the Messiah who was foretold in the Old Testament, who we also call the Son of God. The show gave us a very blasphemous version of Jesus because this Jesus drove a car, he would use cuss words, he once made Lois' chest bigger, and would do very many bad things using his God-given miracles. It was the voice of Alex Sulkin who voiced Jesus, and is an American screenwriter and a voice actor who was also seen in the Cleveland show. Bonnie Swanson was the beautiful wife of Joe, and was first seen pregnant for 116 episodes of the series. She then gave birth to her daughter Susie Swanson, and now had 2 kids including Kevin. She was much calmer than her husband, and was always the housewife who always took care of Joe, like changing his diaper and going grocery shopping with Lois. She cheated on Joe with Quagmire and some other guy she met on the internet. Before she met Joe, she was a pole dancer, if you know what I mean, and was a woman full of red flags since the first time we saw her. Her lazy voice was offered by Jennifer Tilly, who is an American-Canadian actress and also a professional poker player. Now to other important people like George Bush, who was the 43rd President of the United States. He mostly appeared in flashbacks and cutaways, and was always seen doing stupid things and saying dumb things throughout the show. Opie was a mentally disabled co-worker of Peter Griffin at the Pawtucket Brewery. He was always awarded the Employee of the Month, and was actually promoted before Peter. Peter needs no introduction. He was the foolish father figure in the film who fought with a chicken and was always a drunkard.